Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for having me. So what I'm going to be speaking about today, I'll just get the measure of this first, there we are, is has format development reached a tipping point, and what opportunity does this represent to improve user experience and commercial opportunity? So before I put my tech hat on, which if I'm totally honest with you all is borrowed, I wanted to share why we feel Vibrant has a good perspective on this topic. So this is just a short demo desktop here of how one of our ads initiates. So 16 years ago, which is obviously a very long time in the context of digital, two ex-AOL execs decided to start a company that placed ads within the content rather than around it. So you could say we were the pioneers of native advertising. Certainly we like to say that. However, contrary to advertising habits at the time, our proprietary technology not only offered the market a unique placement, but also focused on the content itself. So we believed then, as we do now, that contextual relevance and user control offer the best experience. So as mobile increasingly becomes a key part of digital strategies, we have spent the past few years developing our mobile offering from both a creative and a functionality perspective. With the rise of mobile device usage and the ongoing predictions around the year of mobile, which seemingly has been about 4 years running, we wanted to help our publishers monetize their mobile inventory whilst giving our advertisers new and innovative solutions. After all, our own mobile network has been steadily growing, and we now see 60% of overall traffic to Vibrant's network coming from mobile devices. Staying true to our original advertising mission, we emphasize relevance, user initiation, and custom creative builds. However, just as the industry started to take notice of mobile, the headlines came. From what I gather, this ad blocking topic has been mentioned already today, but hopefully we'll be able to put a slightly different spin on things here. So, as we know, it's a worrying threat to our industry overall. Downloads grew by 41% globally in the last 12 months. And last year, it was estimated that ad blocking cost the industry $22 billion. It's predicted that by 2020, we will have lost $35 billion in ad revenue due to ad blocking usage. And we are already seeing the effect of this, as you can see, with the use of ad blockers on mobile growing a massive 90% across 2015. As of March this year, there were 408 million users of mobile ad blocking browsers. No doubt this figure is already far higher and will only continue to grow. For mobile, ad blocking doesn't just offer users more control over their experience, but in many cases saves them money in data usage, a rather unique concern when you compare this to desktop. Last year at Vibrant, we embarked on an internal tech development plan, and in doing so we came across a very interesting study commissioned by the New York Times regarding loading times and the costs of downloading advertising on mobile devices. It was conducted across a range of 50 publishers and were compiled 12 months ago, so in no way is this a naming and shaming of said publishers. 12 months ago, we as a business were also in a very different place. However, this is just to give a few examples of how these costs can build up. So, for example, you can you can see an average of 10.7 seconds to load advertising versus 6.7 seconds to load the editorial. In terms of data costs, these loading times were generating an average of 11 cents to load advertising versus 7 for editorial. Not significant on its own, but it will all add up over the course of multiple browsing sessions. However, it's not all bad news. So these people here, these publishers in this list, this is the ones with incredibly fast loading times and subsequently offering lower data costs. So here, the average is 1.4 seconds to load ads versus 4.1 to load editorial. So much better than the 10.7 and 6.7 seconds that we just saw. As you would expect, quick loading times results in negligible costs to the user. So here we're seeing an average of 1 cent for ads to be loaded versus 4 for editorial. So far more appealing to a user. What we're basically saying here is that consumers can end up paying more on data for advertising than for the editorial they've actually chosen to visit. Plus, as well as a bad user experience, slow loading of ads will ultimately have an effect on publishers' revenue, given the rise of viewable trading, which I know we've touched upon a few times today. Anyway, we as an industry now have the opportunity to address these data concerns sooner rather than later, and before consumers start to take real notice. Right now, most polls on mobile user experience highlight the behaviour of the ads rather than concerns over data costs. So this sample here, a few stats from a recent IOB study, shows exactly that. And I think as mobile users ourselves, we all know the answers already. If we give people the choice to both open and close advertising as they wish, without being misleading, that's surely the best experience that we can be offering consumers. The question is, are we actually delivering this right now? Are we offering user choice and positive experiences across the board on mobile devices? I think the answer for the most part is no, we're not. We've all seen examples of intrusive full-page takeovers and interstitials where the close button is rather elusive. Maybe you can't actually see it at the start at all. Even to us in this room, who are much more tech-savvy than the general public, this is very annoying. So I can't imagine how our mums and grands must be feeling. Frequency capping certainly seems to have fallen by the wayside. And I think, let's be honest, we've all managed to accidentally click something and been one tap away from joining Honey G's fan club. Wonderful. So, we've talked about the whys of consumer ad blocking. So now let's have a little look at how we go about preventing it. Something that we at Vibrant believe has to be done both before a user even sees an ad and also during the experience we deliver when they do. So we've heard from, and we'll hear from many speakers today, saying that we need to be more creative. And we agree 100%. It's a huge part of what we do at Vibrant. All the stats out there show that people pay more and better quality attention to ads which are designed specifically for mobile devices. However, if the format is heavy, it takes ages to load, or is interruptive to their experience, all that time spent on creative is wasted, as people will rarely see it, and when they do, they won't enjoy it. For us at Vibrant, we decided to take things back to the basics, a tech company first and foremost. Across the past 18 months, we've rebuilt our entire ad-serving platform to address the needs of 2016 and beyond. This effectively means putting mobile first, and more specifically the user and publisher experience at the forefront. Vibrant ads now weigh around 30k versus an average of 80k across our key competitors. And it's obviously, as mentioned earlier on today, it's great to see support in the form of the Lean initiative from the IAB, which is designed to address this problem as well. We've also been having a little bit of fun with PR. But I think it's fair to say this isn't news to any of us. We do need to go on a data diet before we all bankrupt ourselves, myself included, with monthly bolt-ons just to feed our commuting survival needs. Anyway, so now we've addressed some of the reasons we believe are very important around why people use ad blocking, and we've gained an understanding of what consumers define as a positive experience, we can have fun with formats, since we can now be much more confident that users will actually see them, which is always an added bonus. Luckily, this is not a sales spiel, so I will not be going through all of our products line by line, which I'm sure you're disappointed. However, we have identified two key trends which are influencing our approach to mobile format development going into next year. So, I don't think it comes as news to many of us that 94% of us hold our phones vertically. For me personally, I will only hold it horizontally if I'm on YouTube, watching a video. Pretty much every app that we use is designed to be viewed vertically, and as such, we want to reflect this in our creative executions for 2017. Thanks to Snapchat and Periscope, many other social platforms, vertical video is a core interest for Vibrant, and I'm sure for everybody else in this room. We are doing ongoing product testing around this, with optimizations planned to go on into next year. Research tells us that by addressing the consumer experience in the way we are planning on doing with vertical video, vertical views that are videos that are viewed vertically get to the end 9 times more frequently than videos that are viewed horizontally. So great news for advertisers. And finally, we feel that collaboration is key. So having focused a lot of time and energy in rebuilding our tech platform, and as I mentioned previously, we are first and foremost a tech company, we're now partnering with a variety of third parties in order to deliver a wealth of creative opportunities. So in such a fast-paced, ever-changing environment, these relationships allow us to be agile and move with advertiser demand without compromising on reporting or functionality. It also allows us to test new products before deciding on longer-term tech investment from our side. After all, the most important critic is the user, and through in-market research studies and publisher feedback, we plan to determine best creative practices for mobile that we can take forward and that will benefit advertisers, publishers and users equally. So just to summarise, and sort of take you back to the original question that was posed, no, we don't feel that we've reached a tipping point in terms of format development. However, we do feel that a shift in focus is needed. Not only do we all need to creatively put mobile first, but also we need to place the user experience at the forefront of everything that we do. Otherwise, as I've said, all the amazing creative work that we as an industry put forward will largely go unseen and unappreciated.